Take a moment to recognize three special members of the team for their dedication and service to the program. First up is senior forward number 1, Hayden Robinson. Hayden is the daughter of Troy and Tori Robinson and is a native of Pittsburgh. She's a 2-year member of the program after previously being a track and field standout at Quinnipiac. Hayden has appeared in 4 games this season after missing all of last year due to injury. She completed her undergraduate degree in communication studies this past December and is currently enrolled in graduate school for corporate communications. Ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause for number 1, Hayden Robinson. Next up is senior guard number 22, Jordan Smith. Jordan is the daughter of 2 of our most loyal fans, Timothy and Demetra Smith, and is a native of Manassas, Virginia. She has started 55 games over 2 seasons with the program after previously playing 3 years at Shepherd. Jordan has played 3,000 plus minutes over 117 games in her collegiate career. She earned her undergraduate degree in sociology last May and is currently pursuing a master's degree in legal studies. Ladies and gentlemen, number 22, Jordan Smith. Finally, senior forward number 32, Deja Terrell. Deja is the daughter of Darren Terrell and Lauren Ming and is a native of Reading, Pennsylvania. She is a 4-year member of the program after previously playing 2 seasons at Albright. Deja has scored over 1,700 points in her collegiate career and was a 2022 WBCA All-American, plus the PSAC West Athlete of the Year and the PSAC West Defensive Athlete of the Year in her first season with the Vulcans. She is currently completing her undergraduate degree in sports management with a minor in human resource management. Ladies and gentlemen, number 32, Deja Terrell. Please join us one last time with a big round of applause thanking these special seniors for their contributions to the Vulcan program. Thank you, seniors.
Miss my dog is down my feet. Miss my dog is down.
everybody, and welcome to the Convocation Center for tonight's matchup between the California Vulcans and the Mercyhurst Lakers. My name is Andrew White. Joined alongside me is Braxton Turner. And Braxton, we've been out of action for a minute. How are you feeling coming into this one?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. Excited to see this pretty competitive matchup as we saw last time these teams faced up. So, going to be a pretty competitive game here.
Last time these two teams played against one another, it was a victory from California, 66-63 in overtime. Like you said, just an exciting matchup all around. We got a chance to recognize our seniors before tonight's game, and one of them getting their first start of the season there in Hayden Robinson, and the other two being Jordan Smith and Deja Terrell. Just an exciting time to be a Vulcans fan, and honestly, wrapping up the season and everything, both these teams in contention. It's just kind of getting exciting to see them getting to the top of their play and just go with it as they go.
Oh, yeah.
Starting lineups for the Vulcans as they're kind of getting announced now. We're getting reactions from the crowds. We got number 32, Deja Terrell, the main attraction, senior there. 23, Alicia Harris. Number 22, Jordan Smith, another senior. Number 4, Nina Shaw. And number 1, Hayden Robinson, the last senior to round it out. And then we go across to the other side for Mercyhurst. Number 3, Danielle Grimm. Number 10, Julia Buckman. Number 14, Paige Woodford. Number 30, Allison Ross. And number 32, Bailey Coons. Vulcans coming into this game riding a 4-game winning streak after their 3-game losing streak before that, and really playing their best basketball as of late.
Oh yeah, definitely just been pretty on it these last few games. Last game winning 55-41 against Pitt Johnstown, 84-53 against Clarion, and then that win against Slippery Rock 72-53. And then that big game Deja Terrell had back a couple weeks ago against Seton Hill, 78-69. So she's been pretty consistent, especially during the last few stretches of this season, especially these last few games.
Deja Terrell, 15 points from 1,000 in her Vulcan career, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that, see if her storybook ending here at California on senior night can kind of be topped off with a nice accolade like that, as the opening tip goes to Mercyhurst, and we are underway. Danielle Grimm with it now, guarded by Alicia Harris. Gets the screen. Hayden Robinson on the switch now, getting an early task, and she takes care of business. The pass over there to Julia Buckman, up top to Paige Woodford. Woodford gets it to Bailey Coons. Coons on the drive to the left side, ends up stopping, trying to keep her pivot foot, but no good as she travels, and it's coming back the other way.
That was just like all-around good defensive possession, especially to start this game, set that tone early.
Nina Shaw bringing it up, the impressive freshman for the Vulcans all year long, just doing a great job being the facilitator and kind of the calmness of this offense. Gets it back to Terrell. Terrell going to pull up from 3 off the side of the rim and no good, and the rebound to Danielle Grimm. Grimm gets it to Ross. Ross on the drive, kicks it over, and they're going to set it back up. The 3 in the corner to Buckman, no good, and the rebound by Nina Shaw. You can feel a sense of electric atmosphere here as the crowd's really into it here for senior day. Jordan Smith on the pull-up jumper. She's going to leave it well short, and that ball finds its way out of bounds.
Yeah, so yeah, you can definitely tell the intensity is set pretty soon, especially with both of these teams being about even in terms of rankings, if anything. And
Grimm with it now, guarded by Robinson. Looking for something, gets in the middle, the spin, off the backboard, no good, and the rebound to Deja Terrell. Like you said, these two kind of locked arms right now. Underneath, Alicia Harris going to finish for 2. They're kind of locked arms right now at 3rd and 4th in the PSAC West, as California sitting at 13 and 6 in conference play, and Mercyhurst at 12 and 7. So big game here to kind of dictate seedings as we wrap up the season and get into the playoffs. And the feed inside there to Bailey Coons, and she's going to finish with the over-the-top bucket.
Yeah. You always have to watch when you have a defender front in the post. You always, generally when that happens, you need help around the backside. Just Vulcans just didn't bring anyone around that time.
Shaw finds a wide open Alicia Harris underneath, and building on your point there of kind of fronting your defender, Alicia Harris takes advantage. Grimm with it now, guarded by Jordan Smith, known for her defense. Pass to Coons. Coons looking for any options. Gets it over to Allison Ross. Ross no good, and the rebound goes to Nina Shaw. Nina Shaw now setting up the offense. Gets it over to Jordan Smith. As you can see, starter Alicia Young at the scorer's table right now. Maybe checking in for the senior Hayden Robinson, who got her first start of the year. With the turnover there by the Vulcans. Going to turn into a three by Danielle Grimm off the side of the rim and no good. And with a Mercyhurst body on the ground, you have to expect that foul is going to be against the Vulcans.
Yeah.
And Alicia Young does check into the game for Robinson. Nice recognition there for Hayden as she checks in for her first start of her career here on senior day. Pass into Grimm. Grimm getting the screen from Coons. She's going to take it and use it. Gets the switch. Pass over to Woodford. Woodford on the drive. The pass over in the corner to Buckman. Buckman puts up the three, and nothing but net there.
And generally, when you give up baseline just like that and that post up down low, it often breeds for open shots on the wing like there.
That's something we saw a lot of in the Vulcans' first game against Pitt Johnstown here in the Convocation Center, where Pitt Johnstown was just shooting lights out from three, and that game ended up going into overtime and everything. And I mean, a lot of the time we saw them getting beat baseline and just, a shooter kind of just leading into the corner, getting the ball and nailing a lot of shots. So you have to hope they don't kind of capitalize on the Vulcans' weak point there. We got a little cleanup, but she takes it into her own hands. I like what I see there. That's dedication. That's what she wants the job done quickly and effectively. The pass into Shaw to Alicia Harris. She's going to put up her third shot of the game, and she finds it again as she has the first 6 points for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Harris, for the most part, is when she gets inside and gets where she wants, she's pretty much lights out.
Allison Ross loses it there. Buckman able to recover. Gets it to Woodford. Woodford with it now. Gets it back out. This is Coons. Coons on the drive. She gets fouled. And she's going to go to the line for two.
Yeah, at that point, after she just gets so far into the basket, either just let her go or just make sure she doesn't get that shot up. Not necessarily a bad foul, as would have been a clear take to the lane. But whenever things like that happen, you might as well just not give them the chance at all to even get up to the rim.
Some substitutions as Jenna Van Shake comes into the game for Mercyhurst, and then Alicia Young and Sierra Bermudez checking into the game for the Vulcans. Free throw line is Bailey Coons. 75% free throw shooter on the year. She's able to knock down. And she's about a 15-point per game scorer, so you have to keep an eye on her. Bermudez with the pass over to Smith. Smith getting the screen from Bermudez, taking it to the right side, looking for some kind of jumper. Throws up a floater from the right side, no good. And the rebound to the newly checked in Jenna Van Shake. And the spin move and the win for Allison Ross as she takes over and just oversizes Nina Shaw there.
Yeah. At that point, the spin moves, depending on how you play, there's not really much you can do after they get so deep. It's just a matter really of positioning. But after you're trying to guard that drive as quick as they're going, it's hard to really readjust yourself.
And a lost ball there by Alicia Young as they seem to be a little bit flustered to start the game. Pass over to Danielle Grimm, and she'll get fouled by Young. Bit of a frustration foul there, but at least make them earn it at the line.
No.
Iona Williams checking into the game for the Vulcans, and Nina Shaw going to get an early break, not something we see very often. As the season's gone on, Coach Jess Strom has kind of delved into the idea of getting Nina Shaw some quick breaks, but right back in the game a couple minutes later as She does lead all of the PSAC in minutes played as a freshman, so got to get her a time where it can come. Danielle Grimm knocks him down. Grimm a 12-point per game scorer, so she knows how to get the ball in the basket, and right there, that might be the jump start she needs to get going. Alicia Harris in the middle, working the high post. The great drive down the lane, and she finishes at the basket as she's just been dominant to start this ball game.
Yeah, Harris, once she just gets inside, she's just so nifty and just knows what to go and where to go, and uses her size especially just to create space for a shot, as she did there.
The drive here by Grimm. And what a great take by Grimm as she kind of absorbs the contact and, just allows herself to finish at the rim.
Yeah, the body control is not an easy task, especially having to readjust after you first go up. But way to control it and able just to get it to fall.
Anna Williams almost loses it on the drive. She's going to fade away jumper, no good. And the rebound by Grimm. Grimm's got a couple rebounds to start this game already as the point guard has had the ball in her hands for a large majority of this game. The great move underneath, but not able to finish as Iona Williams comes down with the rebound for the Balkans. Williams with the handoff to Bermudez. Bermudez over to Harris. Harris with the first 8 points for this Balkans team. Pass to Alicia Young, but on the drive, she's going to get fouled. And Allison Ross didn't really like the constrictiveness of being under Young's body and kind of reacted there, as that's going to take us to our first media timeout. Mercyhurst with an early 4-point lead, 12-8. And, like we said, Alicia Harris, first 8 points of this game for the Balkans. I would say that's a bit of a surprise, but she's really been consistent as of late.
Oh, yeah, especially off of the rebounds. I feel like a vast majority of her points come off of putbacks, but as you can see, she can create her own shots, especially after she gets so deep inside, is able to use her footwork, knows how to position herself to get a good shot off inside, as she has got some decent looks so far.
Great day to recognize the seniors here in California at the Convocation Center, as a little bit of snow outside has kind of made its way in, and I'm sure these people are more than happy to be in this arena watching some basketball today rather than doing anything they don't want to be doing. And adding on to your point about Alicia Harris, it's going to be exciting to see what she can do next year. She's a junior this year, going into next year, senior season. She's going to be, without Deja Terrell down there, she might be the vocal point of this offense. And seeing her progression as of late and how she's just gotten better on offense throughout the year, I think it's going to be an exciting time for her for sure when coming into next season.
Yeah, she does definitely be a much needed for an inside presence, especially for this team. Going into next year, after losing Terrell after this season, Alicia Harris is probably the next one up in terms of inside presence, right behind Terrell in terms of rebounds per game.
And there she is again, right on cue. Alicia Harris able to create some space underneath, get the inbound pass, and put it up for two. Van Schaik with it now. She gets it over to Allison Ross. Ross feeding it down low to Bailey Coons, and Coons staying aggressive, putting it up with the left hand, and a beautiful finish.
Yeah, just kind of sealed off perfectly and helped defense. Just a little bit late to get there, so kind of just a lapse inside and left it for an easy layup.
During that last media timeout, freshman Kamaya Williams did check into the game, and Alicia Harris just continuing the domination as she has all 12 points for this Vulcans team, and you can see her getting the bench hyped up.
Yeah.
Ross with it now, guarded by Bermudez. She's going to drive to the right side, loses it midair, but underneath there is Van Schaik. She gets it. Pass out to Wade. Now Buckman with it. Buckman looking down low to Coons. Coons with the smaller defender on her, forces it up. No good, in the rebound by Jordan Smith.
Yeah, it's good health defense by Bermudez. Able to just to throw her off just a bit. Get her to throw up a shot.
Alyssa Harris not known for forcing anything, so she gets it right out. As she realized she has good coverage on her. The block there. Great play there by Van Schaik as she got through the screen and was able to get her hand in the face of Bermudez. Wade with it now. She also checked in during the last media timeout. Over to Van Schaik. Van Schaik going off the board. No good. The rebound by Alicia Harris. You can really tell this crowd is energetic and involved tonight. There's a lot of these, you got to think a lot of these fans are family members of the seniors and of the players. And Alicia Harris putting up a 3. Man, she was really feeling herself there.
Yep.
I don't even know if I've ever seen her shoot a 3.
Yeah, I think she only has a few attempts, 3-point attempts on the season. Matter of fact, that was only her second 3-point shot of this season.
I mean, I guess if you're going to do it on a night that you're 6 for 6 with 12 points in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Might as well give it a shot. As checked into the game, Maria McConnell and Danielle Grimm making her way back in for Mercyhurst, and Talia Gilliard making her way into the game for the Vulcans along with Nina Shaw. Talia Gilliard getting her first shot up of the game, no good. The rebound there goes to Van Schaik. Van Schaik gets it to Buckman. Buckman going to pull up for 3, leaves it short, and the rebound by Kamaya Williams. Nina Shaw trying to move the tempo a little bit, but now slowing it down, setting it up. Gets it to Kamaya Williams. Williams over to Gilliard. Gilliard back to Shaw. They're just moving the ball around the perimeter now. And the spin move there by Williams, her favorite thing to do. No good off the left side of the rim. Grimm with it now, guarded by Williams. Grimm on the drive in the middle now, picks up her dribble, finds Buckman. Buckman on the drive, left-handed, goes up with the left, no good. Rebound by Alicia Young, gets it up to Bermudez.
Yeah. As you can see, this Mercyhurst team has basically just been aggressive going to the basket this whole game.
What a great move there by Sierra Bermudez. Not something we're used to seeing out of her. She's usually a stand-still 3-point shooter, but she can also create off the dribble, as she did a lot at Clarion, and showing that here tonight. Van Schaik gets it over to Grimm. Grimm guarded by Gilliard. She puts up a 2-point jump shot, and it finds the bottom.
So that jump shot, just textbook. Get it off the dribble. Make sure your defender doesn't really have enough time to get a hand in your face. Got it up, just rose over and had a nice shot.
Over to Bermudez. She fakes the 3. She's going to drive again. Puts it up from the middle. Off the back rim, no good. And the rebound. Mercyhurst does have numbers here, 4 on 3, but California does a good job of maintaining and slowing it down. Van Schaik with it now, getting the screen from McConnell. Goes to the left side, and dangerous play there, in a sense, as she kind of lost the ball and landed on it.
Yeah.
Glad to see she's getting up fine and not shaking up at all from it.
Yeah, definitely a dangerous play there. Got the shot tipped out of her hands by Bermudez. Kind of came down on it wrong, but thankfully she's able to just fall.
Another substitution as Paige Woodford and Grace Clary check into the game for the Lakers. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter, as the score is 16-14 in favor of the Lakers. And we'll be right back here on the PSAC Network and CUTV Sports 1.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
And welcome back. As we are set to go here in the second quarter, California trailing by 2 to start. And, I mean, honestly, just a back and forth game. We always say it, but really game jitters just kind of getting out of the way. Some costly turnovers, but nothing too crazy. And I would say the story of that first quarter, obviously, Alicia Harris able to Be 6 for 7 from the floor and 12 points.
Oh, yeah. Definitely just kept up the aggressiveness going inside, created some shots for herself especially. Got some good looks and was able to capitalize.
She was 6 for 6 to start. Ended up kind of testing her luck with a 3, so 6 for 7 as of now. Have to see if she continues to build on that impressive first quarter. And the pass over to Grace Clary. She puts up her first shot of the night, no good. Here come the Vulcans back the other way. And Gilliard went to pass it to Shaw, but Shaw was cutting. A little bit of a miscommunication. Bermudez with it now. Cross-court pass to Shaw. Shaw passes up the 3, gets it over to Gilliard. 10 on the shot clock. Gets it to Williams. Williams out to Gilliard. She's going to shoot a deep 3. And oh my goodness. She was about 5 feet behind the line, but nonetheless, she's able to find the bottom and give the Vulcans their first lead.
Yeah. Gilliard coming in off the bench has been, I say, another deep three-point threat for this team outside of Bermudez, but she's known to really hit a couple after she's subbed in.
She is a kind of a streaky shooter. Once she gets going, you got to keep an eye on her. As the take there by Grimm, able to finish. But building on your point, I mean, Talia Gilliard, once she sees one go in, she could see a couple go in. So you have to think the offense might be making their way to her side a little bit more following that deep bucket. This time they go to the other side to their other shooter, Bermudez. No good. And Grimm with yet again another rebound. And they're moving it up. Ross passes up the 3, gets it down low. The pass over to Grimm. She puts up a 3, leaves it well short. And it's going to come back the other way in favor of the Vulcans.
See, right now both teams only have one 3-point make, so I guess that just shows you how really aggressive they've just been going inside, especially a majority of shots coming from inside the paint from both of these teams.
Grimm, even after that missed 3, is still an impressive start to her night as she's up to 8 points, 4 rebounds, and just really being very active on the ball. As Gilliard putting up another 3. That would have been a game changer if that found the bottom. But Alicia Harris with the offensive board. She takes it in, gets it out to Kamaya Williams. Over to Shaw. They're moving it around the top of the perimeter. Find themselves down 1. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Pass over to Gilliard. She's got to put up another one. And she gets hit a little bit, but no call there by the ref. The rebound, Nina Shaw, the great find, and the finish by senior Jordan Smith. Coach Colkeem over there for the Lakers, not happy at all after that possession, leading to 2 offensive rebounds for the Vulcans, adding to their second chance points. And they leave Ross wide open for 3. She can't connect, and the rebound by Jordan Smith. Smith almost loses it, gets it back to Shaw. Shaw looking over to Coach Strom for the call. They're going to take it to the left side of the floor. Looks like potentially a double screen here from Kamaya and Harris. Kamaya going to take it now off the roll. She gets fouled, and she's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Kamaya Williams coming off the bench. Also the freshman for this team. When she's come in, we've kind of seen some flashes of, I guess, greatness from her, especially being able to score inside, especially when this team is needed. There's been a couple times where she's contributed to a Vulcans win here. May not get a lot of minutes or may not see the floor a whole bunch, but she sure does make the most of it.
I remember about a month ago when we were calling these games, and we mentioned something about her. Her minutes per game was sitting at about 6.5. She's now up to 14 a game, so that just goes to show you she's gaining trust in this offense, and Coach Strom likes what she sees when she puts her out there. Ross with it now. Passes up top to Coons. Leading scorer for this team needs to find herself, down low and get going a little bit. And the picked up dribble there by Clary. She's going to get it over to Grimm. Grimm looking around, and the defensive intensity from this Vulcans is off the charts. And the drive there by Allison Ross. She got her own rebound and got fouled, but they're going to say it's on the floor, so the ball will be under the basket. Julia Buckman checking back into the game for the Lakers. Little side-to-side screen. They get it into Bailey Coons. Coons kicks out to Buckman. Buckman a three off the front rim. No good. Rebound by Van Shake, but a great defensive play there by Talia Gilliard. And they're going to say it went off Grimm, and it'll be in favor of the Vulcans.
The hustle is so important. Hustle doesn't really show up in the numbers game, but especially it's good for swinging team momentum in whichever direction.
Talia Gilliard not known for her defensive presence, but right there able to make a big difference, and that leads to a Nina Shaw two-point jumper, and California's biggest lead of the night at 5. Buckman feeds Coons. Like we said, Coons hasn't really gotten going yet like she's used to. And that's because of great defense there by Alicia Harris as she contains her once again. And the crowd really getting into it now. The handoff to Gilliard. This three would really just absolutely explode this place. And that's what it does. Gilliard connects on her second three of the night. The drive there by Allison Ross, and the great answer. And I mean, we've heard it from the crowd behind us multiple times. Stop the ball. I mean, right there, just getting by and nobody down low in position yet, and that leads to a layup by Ross.
Yep. So those little things, especially in a game like this, that really matter. Help defense, almost no one really picking up the ball and just leaving the defense just to scramble. Whether they're going to try to fix the net is what it is. Yeah, there it goes.
Great layup there by our referee of the night. Always some kind of little debacle, whether it be the net, the shot clock, the game clock, something that refs got to make their mark early on, and they're just making sure that this game's being played to the highest efficiency. Three-pointer here by Jordan Smith. Leaves it short off the rim. Grimm has just been absolute magnet to these rebounds as she's up to 5 already for the point guard. Gets into Coons. Coons looking to square up and get something going. And that's a walk as she failed to get the ball on the ground before taking some steps. Alicia Harris doing a great job defensively of containing Coons.
Yeah, that was just a great play by Harris, able to just to throw her off the last possession as well, playing defense straight up. That's probably the best thing you could do, and especially trying to play without fouling. Just go straight up, and oftentimes that's the best defense possible.
Maya Williams with it now. On the drive there, and they're going to call, I don't know if that was an offensive foul or a travel. They might have called the travel first.
Yeah, that's what they gave her a travel.
Julia Buckman's going to make her way to the bench following that. And Grace Clary comes out for the Lakers. But that will take us to our second quarter media timeout. California all of a sudden able to turn it around. Coming into the quarter, down 2, now up 6. Their biggest lead of the game was 8 before that basket by Ross. And I mean, it's electric in here once they get going.
Oh yeah, it's been back and forth, and I feel like a good bit of these games have been kept both sides keeping it competitive, especially aggressive. I guess both teams are really sensing the importance of this game right now. As like I've seen before, the PSAC West as compared to the East is a lot more competitive after you get past the first 2 teams. So last few games are so important for seeding, especially, and even if you're on the bottom end, whether you're going to make it to playoffs or not. So both of these teams really sensing that importance.
Yeah, right now, like we said, California is sitting at 3rd in the standings. Mercyhurst and Edinburgh tied for 4th. And then Seton Hill 2 games behind them at 5th. So, I mean, all of these teams will be in the PSAC playoffs, but now it's just a matter of, who you're going to play, whether or not you're going to be able to. I mean, these teams might be just out of being able to host, but where you're going to play, who you're going to play, and it all is important in the grand scheme of things, especially with the powerhouse of Gannon, who have won 24 of their last 25 games. I mean, I guess ideally you kind of want to stay away from them, but at the same time, as an underdog team like these 2 teams might go into the playoffs as, maybe getting that game out of the way early might be beneficial for them.
Oh yeah.
So we are fresh out of the media timeout, and Grimm bringing it up for the Lakers following the travel by Kamaya Williams. Coons gets it over to Ross. Ross looking at the basket, not going to shoot it. A little bit of a spin, but loses it. Loses it twice. And Nina Shaw with it now. And, you know, a lot of the time we see turnovers being at the fault of the offensive player, but tonight it seems like the turnovers are truly being forced by the Vulcans as they're just keeping that intensity on defense at an all-time high. Yeah. Pass over to Gilliard. Another three for her. Off the side of the rim and no good. Seems like every time I mention it, Grimm is grabbing another rebound for this Lakers squad. She gets it over to Van Schaik. Van Schaik with the pass to Clary. Clary down low to Coons. And once again, Alicia Harris getting a hand in there and able to get that steal. And you got to think Bailey Coons has to be frustrated to this point in the game.
Yeah. Well, Harris has just been a pest, especially in the post so far in this game, just being in the right spot and the right time. As just like, I feel like that's her whole play style, even when it comes to rebounds and being able to score. Just so how always happens to be in the right place at the right time.
It's not always about your dribbling moves or your shot efficiency. It's also about your basketball IQ and just being able to know where you need to be at any given time, and she does a great job of doing that. The miss there by Smith. She starts out the game 0 for 4 tonight. Grimm gets it over to Ross. Ross with it now, guarded by Harris. Harris lets her get past, but another defensive play there by Talia Gilliard as she gets a hand in, pokes it out of bounds. It will stay on this end, but you put a slow to their offense, and now they only got 13 seconds to work with. A little bit of a delayed start to the inbound play, and that's going to cause Kamaya Williams to then get a hand in and on the over-the-head pass. As she'll check out of the game for Alicia Young, and new substitution coming into the game for the first time. Sophia Kelly checks in for the Lakers, number 0. And Buckman checking back into the game for Clary. You can just see it in these Vulcans' eyes. They're not here to have fun. They're here to win this game and to be a presence on defense that, like you said, almost like a pest or, you know, just an annoyance to try to throw off the Lakers a bit. Sarah Bermudez checks into the game for Gilliard after Gilliard connected on a couple important threes that helped this team get the lead that they have now. As Grimm gets it to Buckman. Buckman down low, and once again, Alicia Young getting in the passing lane. Passes it up to Nina Shaw, back to Young, and a little bit discombobulated there as it was kind of just a high pass in transition that she couldn't come down with. Grimm setting it up. Gets over to Buckman. Buckman guarded by Bermudez. Back to Grimm with Alicia Harris on her. Harris's defensive presence a big key tonight, and Grimm trying to force a little bit too much and gets called for the travel.
So that's the importance of help defense. Basically, when you have someone who looks like an easy lane to the basket, that help defense can definitely throw someone off, especially on their footing, and whether they're trying to gather with like a hop step or maybe go it for 1-2.
It's a great take there by Nina Shaw. She draws the foul, and she'll go to the line for 2. It's always good to see Nina Shaw also playing aggressive while still being able to be the facilitator and kind of the calmer down, if that makes sense, of the offense. On the season, she's shooting 75% from the free throw line. She connects on the first one there. Freshman just under 37 minutes per game, averaging just under 8 a game. She's able to connect on both there and extend this lead to 8. Pass to Grimm. Grimm with it now in the corner. Pass it over to Buckman. Buckman looking around, tries to over the top to Coons. And once again, the help defense on the backside just really proving to be strong.
I said playing help defense like that is definitely an art to it. Having to play your own man and the post, kind of goading the team to throw it into a turnover.
Great defense there, but Coons able to just overpower and put it over top of Harris for the 2.
Yeah. At this point, you can see she's starting a little bit of, frustration. I'm not sure if she's really just how she looks throwing it up, but it always seems like she's trying to get a foul, but with how she's playing right now, it just really makes it easy in the post because right now she's really playing overly aggressive offense, especially, so it makes it easier to set up for a charge possibly.
The miss there by Nina Shaw underneath. Mercyhurst trying to cut this lead down before the half. I'm going to pass it into Bailey Coons here. Coons squares up the pump fake, gets Young off her feet, puts it up. No good even after the contact. You could tell she was looking for some kind of call, like you said. And Nina Shaw with it now. The handoff to Bermudez. Bermudez for three, way long. The rebound by Coons. Mercyhurst coming back the other way. Gets it to Buckman. Buckman the pump fake, gets past Harris, puts it off the board, no good. And it's going to get tipped off of Buckman and come back the other way for the Balkans.
So Balkans, at least in my opinion, catching a little bit of a break. Whenever you have help defense coming off the backside, you always want to meet them before they hit the paint area because at that point, it's really they're doing a lot of damage and they can do a lot more as if you keep them outside of that paint and only keep them to their half, that half of the floor and limit their options.
Feed inside to Young. Young puts it up. A little bit of contact. It's going to get tipped out and stay on this end with 13 on the shot clock. Bring that last inbound. Allison Ross did check back into the game for the Lakers for Van Schaik. Nina Shaw inbounding it to Jordan Smith. Smith with it now on the right wing. She's going to drive in the middle, put it up with the right hand off the board, and she connects on her first basket of the senior night. Senior day, I guess I should say. Ross with it now. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Grimm with a little bit of spin inside, picks up her dribble, gets it out. Buckman with it now. Buckman on the drive, and it's going to be a little bit of a reach-in foul there. It looks like on Bermudez, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
As you just keep saying, we keep seeing spin after spin after spin. That generally happens when you have an aggressive offense and an aggressive defense. If you have defenses playing just a bit more conservative in a way, it kind of eliminates that possibility of a spin. But defense, you can really, if you can position yourself back in enough time.
What a defensive play there by Alicia Harris. She's able to force the jump ball on the inbound. And I'll tell you what, Bailey Coons is going to go into halftime pretty frustrated with the way that Alicia Harris is playing her on defense. Under 10 on the clock. Nina Shaw on the drive. Kick out to Gilliard. Gilliard looking around. Three to shoot. Gets it to Alicia Harris on the drive. And she's going to cap off her great first half with a lay-in. Increases their lead to 10 as California with the 32-22 lead going into the halftime break. And we'll be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network. Stay tuned for what should be an exciting second half.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
She has cheered for 12 years and danced for 8 years. Mackenzie has been on the dance team since her freshman year. She is
Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of tonight's matchup here on Senior Day in the Convocation Center. Is your Vulcans up to a 10-point lead, 32-22, and I mean, just a great start in that first half. Some things that we didn't see coming and some other things that maybe you might have expected, but Deja Terrell, the senior for the Vulcans, unable to get on the board yet, but Alicia Harris picking up the slack with 14 in that first half, including that last bucket that kind of sent them into halftime with some momentum.
Yeah, at least let's say Alicia Harris is just, as you said, came through in a much-needed spot for this Vulcans offense. I believe it has already in this game, was it 14 points, 7 of 8 from the field. So she's just been able to create just decent, good looks and decent shots for herself, and especially her hitting shots has also created that chance for everyone else, and also just found the right spots and has been able to cut into the right spots. I know that last basket she had going into the half was coming off the feed from Gilliard, who was able to drive into the lane. So she's just, as I said before, been in the right spot.
Coming off that last game on Wednesday where she was able to post her season high, not sure if it's her career high, but I'd imagine it was, of 18 rebounds in their win over Pitt Johnstown. So coming off a great game there, both on both sides of the floor, offense and defense, and now tonight, not only the 14 points, but she's really holding Bailey Coons accountable down low on the defensive side of the floor, where she's gotten her hands in some passing lanes and just kind of contained the top scorer for the Lakers. Breaking down some of the stats for both these teams, like we said, California with Alicia Harris leading the way with 14, and Talia Gilliard with 6 off the 2 3-pointers. And then on the other side, you got Danielle Grimm with 8 points, 6 rebounds. She's 3 for 7 from the floor. And Coons, 7 points, 3 for 6 from the floor, along with 3 turnovers, all caused by Alicia Harris's stellar defense. So it's going to be exciting to see what the second half comes down to and if California can keep this lead. Woodford now, the pass over to Grimm. Jordan Smith able to tip it out. And that's a backcourt violation early on as the defensive intensity for the Vulcans continues here in the second half.
Yeah, Smith starting that on that, the kind of denying that pass into the post. But Vulcans so far in this game have done a great job of guarding the post whenever the ball gets down there, whether it be preventing the pass or just being able to play good defense inside.
Pass down low to Deja Terrell. She's looking for her first bucket of the night. No good. Gets the rebound, puts it back up, fouled, and she will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Terrell sitting pretty much the majority of that first half out as she got to foul trouble pretty early.
Deja Terrell at the line now on her senior day. 74% free throw shooter on the year. Got her average all the way up to just under 16 points per game and 9 rebounds. So really, was able to get back to her true self after a little bit of a slip to start the season, just getting a feel for everything coming off the injury. But she's really been doing a great job as of late. Like you said, that game against Seton Hill, posting her season high of 36 points. She's really just proven to be the go-to scorer on this team, but nonetheless right there, a turnover by Mercyhurst as Woodford was trying to find Grimm in the high post and just a miscommunication. Shaw with it now, guarded by Woodford. Gets it over to Smith. Smith with some room. She's not going to take the jumper, throws it up to Deja, and that's a dangerous pass.
Yeah, if that ball would have got there just a bit sooner, would have been better, but I just waited just a bit long. That help defense got around the back. Vulcans catching a break so just tipped out of bounds by Mercyhurst.
The over-the-head passes are always so difficult as, any kind of help defense from anybody on that backside really just doesn't allow that pass to be put through, and right there we saw the consequences of that as another turnover by the Lakers as they're continuing to struggle on the offensive side of the floor. And the pass down low to Terrell in transition. She misses the lay-in, and bit of a slow start to the second half.
Yeah, just right now, just it's a little too hectic, rushing shots a bit, not really taking their time as they can and as they should.
Grimm with it now, picks up her dribble, gets it over to Buckman. Buckman finds Ross. Ross with the crossover, the spin on Alicia Young, puts it up under the basket, and maybe a travel there that wasn't called, but nonetheless she does finish and cut the lead down to single digits. Nina Shaw setting up the offense for the Vulcans. Takes it over to the left wing. Gets it to Smith in the corner. Back out to Shaw, over to Young. Moving the ball around the perimeter. She gets the screen from Harris. The drive by Young off the backboard and in as her first shot attempt of the night finds the bottom.
Yeah, Young, that's Young, as you were saying, Young's first basket of the game. Really known to also work inside. Also had that travel there, but Young really just also another piece for this Vulcans offense that really just works inside. With how much that this Vulcans doesn't really have too many players to really space the floor, as would be nice to. They do a great job of making up for it as being able to create their own shots inside.
Grimm checks out of the game for Van Schaik. Deja Terrell, the high post now, working a little bit, gets it to Alicia Young, a little bit of a mishandle. And jump ball will take place as I believe that'll stay on this end.
Yeah. It's one thing I've seen it here a couple times. Whenever you have a player on your back or whatever, or it's the post, it's never really a good idea to really throw a chest pass, especially going that quick. It oftentimes makes it that much easier for the defense. They have a hand in there. The offense can't really gather the ball and really catch it, so it's always a lob or a chest pass, bounce pass, excuse me.
Oh, the beautiful Euro step there by Jordan Smith, but not able to connect on the lay-in, and that ball is going to find its way out of bounds. Man, the great steal on that Euro was James Harden-like, as she was just able to completely walk around her defender and get herself an open look, just left it a tiny bit short.
Yeah.
Gilliard checking in for the Vulcans.
It's being able to make the move is just important as being able to finish. There's been a couple times here the Vulcans have got great position, made an excellent move, just not able to get it to fall, and I hate when that, you have to hate when that happens. Got everything except the shot to go.
Grimm with it now, looking to stay aggressive. Passes across court to Van Schaik. Van Schaik on the drive, puts it up with the left hand, and she finds the bottom.
There has to be a certain point where you kind of have to recognize the tendencies of the offense or whatever team you're playing. Right now, Mercyhurst not too really relying on the deep shot as much, so really wanting to drive a little bit more so, but at that point, you kind of have to recognize just to sag off just a bit, maybe goad them to shoot, but give enough, at least take off enough space in order to get a hand up for the shot, but you don't really have to run them off the three-point line as they just haven't been hitting or that just they haven't favored it at all in this game.
And it was really right on cue, you saying that, as Ross pump faked on a three, got her defender to leave her feet and was able to drive and create some contact. Now she's at the line, and I mean, building on your point, you can't jump at things like that when they're not proving themselves to be a threat from beyond the arc. So until they really start nailing a couple, I would say sit back on your feet and just don't allow them past you. Ross connects on both free throws. You can tell things are getting a little bit chippy out there. There's some talking going on amongst the players and some emotions flaring from the coaches. So, I mean, this is a game that both teams really want to win, and regardless of the score now, they know there's a lot of game to be played. Nina Shaw on the drive there. Some contact, but nothing too crazy as she's not able to connect, and coming back the other way is the Lakers. And the trailing three there by Danielle Grimm, and she connects, and now all of a sudden just a 4-point game.
Telling you, especially with people who can shoot those late closeouts, don't really do much, which is why it's so important, especially when you come down the floor on defense, to really pick up who you have almost immediately, especially with a team like this.
Just 10 on the shot clock as Jordan Smith gets the screen from Deja Terrell. Senior and senior working side by side. Gets it over to Gilliard, 4 on the clock. She's going to have to force up some kind of shot here, and she gets all the way to the rim and creates a shot for herself before the shot clock buzzer goes off, and California back up to a 6-point lead. Van Schaik with it now, guarded by Shaw. Gets it to Ross. Ross moving around a bit, trying to stay aggressive. Ball gets tipped off of Alicia Harrison out of bounds and will stay on this end. There's some talking going on right there is what I'm saying. Allison Ross and Jordan Smith kind of going back and forth at each other after Smith's great defensive effort.
Yep. Yeah, I say even at the end of that second, that first half, they were really, we could tell emotions were starting to flare a little bit. Whenever that happens, you kind of just want to tell your team just to calm down just a bit. Don't pick up anything unnecessary.
Number 0, Sophia Kelly checking back into the game for the Lakers, and Kamai Williams checks back in for Deja Terrell. Bailey Coons down low looking for the spin and win. No good. Dives for the ball, and they'll actually say it went off of Nina Shaw, and they will stay on this side.
Yeah, it's kind of a mismatch underneath with how Coons is playing. You kind of don't want to let that happen, really. Catching a break as she just so happened to spin into Harris on the help side, but in situations like that, you're going to have to bring players inside to help her out.
We'll get a timeout here from Coach Colkeem of the Lakers, and I mean it's been an exciting game back and forth, and this start to the second half might be in favor of the Lakers as they kind of were able to make their offense look a little better, and maybe some halftime adjustments that California just didn't see coming as they are being outscored only 9-5 in this half, but still it's still impressive to see from the Lakers side.
Yeah, so far Mercyhurst is outscoring the Vulcans, I believe, 9-5. Yeah, so 9-5. So kind of betting back and forth right now. Mercyhurst 3 of 3 from the field in this third quarter. Well, Vulcans 2 of 8. So they've got some looks, especially some decent looks inside, just not able to really to get them to fall. But I say after this deep into a game where this close it is, there's bunnies and close shots you're going to have to capitalize off of, or at least if you don't, kind of keep the team away from Mercyhurst, especially keep them from getting good looks inside, or maybe start at least double teaming Coons if there's maybe a mismatch or what have you.
Coming out of the timeout. 5 on the floor for the Vulcans. Nina Shaw, Jordan Smith, Kamai Williams, Alicia Harris, and Talia Gilliard on the defensive side. And Mercyhurst getting the pass in, and Van Schaik with it now. Van Schaik has her defender on the floor. She's going to shoot a jumper, no good, and Kamai Williams with the rebound. Nina Shaw with the aggressive drive, gets it over to Jordan Smith. Smith going to hand it off to Shaw, and they're going to set it up with just under 20 on the shot clock. And there's going to be a blocking foul there on Van Schaik as Nina Shaw is able to create some contact on the drive. She will head to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah. Shaw is pretty quick inside, especially off the dribble. What I've noticed, especially for her play style, her being slightly undersized. In a way, she has to work more to maybe get a good look off. And either you do that by either getting the shot underneath the defense, and what she has yet to really see her do is create the contact so the defense doesn't really have too much time or space to jump, or at that point just maybe fall away from the basket just ever so slightly. But it's initiating a contact with the defense is so important in that regard, as you don't really give them any chance to really jump up or contest your shot.
And on the other side, California's doing a great job of having a solid foundation and just standing still and being able to play aggressive defense without picking up too many fouls. I mean, the only person in foul trouble right now for the Vulcans is Deja Terrell with 2, and even there, she's still able to play a little bit aggressive as there's only 15 minutes left in this game. But
yeah, I tell you, playing straight defense straight up is so much more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so much more crucial, and it can be in such a game changer versus maybe playing a little bit more aggressive and then picking up unnecessary fouls. But playing defense straight up can throw off the defense just as much as trying to actually jump into contest shots. You can jump straight up as well legally and absorb contact without it being a foul. But straight up can throw a deep offense off a lot more than you actually would think.
I think that's kind of been what's led Mercyhurst to so many turnovers and travels along with that, because they're just trying to pivot their way around these defenders that are just so solid standing still and able to kind of keep their hands straight up, not allowing anybody by them. Nina Shaw connects on both free throws there. An 8-point lead now for the Vulcans. Jordan Smith checking out of the game for Deja Terrell.
With that sub, Mercyhurst here throwing in Coons back in, so probably more of a matchup coach for probably doing.
Coons with it now. Gets it over to McConnell. McConnell looks down low, finds Grimm. Grimm throws it up, no good. And the rebound to Deja Terrell. Great pass there by Shaw to Harris, and Harris tries to find Deja Terrell, and they're going to call a reach on Terrell. That's not one of the fouls that you want to pick up if you're Deja.
Yeah, as you said, she had two, but that makes it three already. So not really being on the floor as much and picking up the third foul pretty quick. So at that point, you kind of just want to tell her just to, I guess, as we've seen before, just play defense straight up and maybe just be a little bit less aggressive on the defensive end.
And that's just one of those fouls that, like, I mean, it's after the play. It's a frustration foul because you weren't able to capitalize on it and, you know, absorb the pass herself. But the foul had nothing to do with the game, as she was just a reach-in foul. So now picking up that third for no reason, it's gonna be interesting to see if that stands valid throughout the rest of this game. It's the rebound there by Coons, and Kamaya Williams just kind of got her hands too far over the top there, like you said, instead of straight up. And that'll lead to a foul, and Coons will shoot two.
To be honest, I'm not even sure that necessarily would have been a good shot or really an easy shot for Coons had they just played straight up. Two players on her, and it was what we've seen. Coons, instead of trying to go in around the Vulcan defenders, has really tried to just use her size and just go directly into the Vulcans. And as I said before, when that starts happening, you can either pull the chair or you can set up and just take a charge.
Coons connects on both. 75% free throw shooter on the year. Raising her average slightly. Nina Shaw with the pass to Williams. Pass down low to Deja Terrell. And her first field goal of the night after the made free throw earlier. And you got to think she wants to get going now.
Yeah, that was just a beautiful catch by Terrell. Ball came in a little bit hot, but able to Gavin able to throw it up and in.
Right there, that was Maria McConnell able to connect on a three-point bucket. I believe that was only Mercyhurst's like second three of the game or something along those lines. Yeah, it's only their third three. My apologies. They're 3 for 11 so far. Gilliard with the cross-court pass to Kamaya Williams. Williams getting the screen from Harris. 10 on the shot clock. Over to Nina Shaw. Shaw fakes the shot. Gets over to Gilliard. Gilliard for three. Leaves it short, and that ball will find its way out of bounds and come back the other way. Allison Ross making her way back into the game for Van Shake. 5 on the floor for Mercyhurst is Ross, Grimm, Sophia Kelly, Bailey Coons, and McConnell. It's Allison Ross, the aggressive defense there by Nina Shaw. All the running, just so much contact, it's hard to make a call. And Allison Ross, the bad pass, and the come up by Kamaya Williams, and she's able to finish in transition for two.
Kamaya Williams is playing that passing lane perfectly, going into pass it thinking it was wide open. Great steal, and then the finish on the other end as well.
Being able to get into the passing lanes has been so crucial for the Vulcans all night, as they've gotten a majority of their steals just by being able to be in the right place at the right time and get themselves in between the two, or in between the passer and the recipient. It's right there. Bailey Coons fouled once again underneath, and she will go to the line again. All the time when you're having struggle to get going on the offensive side of the ball, being able to get yourself to the free throw line is a huge part of getting back in the game. And for a scorer like Coons, you have to think that she's just trying everything she can to bring her team back into this ball game.
Yeah. What it was as well is Shaw, again, was stuck on her. And then, at that point, you just have to communicate just to switch at that point. Terrell, it was either on Terrell or Harris, especially those two who can play great defensive inside, but especially in a situation like this, in a game like this, you have to there's a little things like that you really have to communicate between your teammates.
Yeah, leaving, Bailey Coons at 5'11" with Nina Shaw, who is only 5'4". I mean, 7-inch difference there. It's going to be hard for Shaw to really do anything besides foul. So you can't blame her for the play itself. As the lead is now 5 for the Vulcans. Feed down low to Deja Terrell. Terrell squaring up to the basket, going to back down Coons. And they're going to call an offensive foul, and that will be Terrell's 4th.
That's already her 4th of this game.
All of a sudden, we went from saying that really nobody was in foul trouble and that Deja Terrell could play as aggressive as she wants to now saying Deja Terrell's 1 foul from checking out of her senior day in a way that she did not want to check out. Terrell with her 4th foul, and like you said, hasn't really been on the floor as much as she would like to be. She's only on the floor 11 minutes in this game, so not what she kind of foreseen in this senior day game. As Grimm for 3 in and out, and Sierra Bermudez grabs the board. Shaw gets it over to Alicia Harris. Harris on the jumper, the rare jumper, no good. They're going to call another foul on the ground. And it seems like that was actually on Mercyhurst. And it'll stay on this side. And that's why you always give your effort, even when it doesn't feel like you can grab the rebound. Alicia Young goes up for the rebound, gets fouled, and retains possession. Nina Shaw inbounding it for the Vulcans underneath the basket. Trying to find down low to Alicia Harris. Harris not able to come up with it. A little bit of a mishandle. Some bodies diving on the floor. It looks like they're going to get another foul on Mercyhurst. This time it'll be on Danielle Grimm. It's the 4th foul of this quarter for the Lakers. Shaw with it now, guarded by Ross. There's been a little bit of chatter between these two as well. I think Ross is really just cementing herself as kind of trying to back up her play with her talk and vice versa. And California's taking notice to it. And a great move there by Kamaya Williams as she spins, gets a little jump hook with the right hand off the backboard, and she'll have a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Beautiful spin by Kamaya Williams. I feel like that's just what we've seen in these games. That's just her shot. Coming off the spin just seems to increase her efficiency or the ability to make shots from inside. At this point, I'm also not even sure what handed she is, because she seems to be able to use both just as well. Or maybe it's maybe dribble or shoot right-handed, or maybe left-handed, because my younger brother's like that. It's weird. Some players who just dribble left and shoot right and vice versa, but she'd just be able to use both of her hands.
I mean, she made the hook shot with her right hand and then made the free throw with her left, so just showing that she can really do it from either side of the floor. And I mean, that was even a shot that, sometimes when you get an and one like that and somebody throws it up last second, you think some luck's involved, but I mean, that was in the whole way. Yep. And it was very controlled, and Kamaya Williams, a great play there, and the freshman's going to be a force to be reckoned with in a couple years for the Vulcans. First free throw there by Van Schaik is good. Second free throw is good as well. Cuts the lead down to 6 as California leading 46-40. Mercyhurst outscoring them by 4 this quarter after having a 10-point lead going into the half. Mercyhurst almost scoring as many points this quarter as they did in that first half, as they're up to 18 this quarter. The drive here by Alicia Young, no good. Alicia Harris picks it up off the backboard and puts it back in for the bucket.
As I said, right place, right time. Harris always seems to be the benefactor of that, being able to capitalize on a lot of missed shots and lot of balls that are batted around.
And a travel there by McConnell. And back to your point, I mean, you pointed out at the halftime break that Alicia Harris last game, and with her 18 rebounds, she actually had 10 of them on the offensive side of the ball. So always likes to find her way towards the basket and get herself in good positioning to try to help her team in any way she can. Nina Shaw with it now. Shot clock turned off. 12 seconds left. They're going to wait till 10 to go. Now they're going. Gets the screen from Bermudez. A little bit of movement. The pass down low to Kamaya Williams. Nobody around her. Puts it up with the right hand. No good. Rebound by Grimm. She's going to throw it up last second. That'll come up way short. And that'll take us to the end of the third as we're 3 quarters in, 1 quarter left. California leading the way 48-40. We'll be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
We are back and in action, ready for this fourth quarter. 10 minutes to play in this, what has been a pretty competitive game. California able to hold the lead for the most part, but Mercyhurst not backing down in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, we've had an exciting game to this point, and we have to see how these last 10 minutes play out.
Yeah. In this game like this, the little things matter that much more, and so does the effort. And now I believe Mercer is definitely, surprisingly, only outscoring the Vulcans by 2, as which seems like a lot more, at least to me. Anyway, but everything counts at this point in the game.
Grimm with it now, looking to stay aggressive as she puts up a floater mid-range, no good. Rebound by Alicia Harris, and the Vulcans coming back with it. Nina Shaw guarded by Allison Ross. Drives to the left side, puts it up with her left hand, just off the front rim and no good. As Van Shake coming back the other way. She's going to put up with her left hand, and she's kind of saucy with it as she finishes at the rim at full speed. Lead cut down to 6 for the Vulcans. Maya Williams has seen a lot of playing time this game with Deja Terrell's foul trouble, and I will say one person we haven't seen very much of is Iona Williams, something a little bit different from this team.
Yep.
Iona Williams, such a prominent part of this team. Earlier in the year, actually led them in scoring before Deja kind of took off, and I don't know if she's battling any kind of injury or if it's kind of just strategic play there by Coach Jess Strom, but to this point, Iona Williams only with 1 minute of playing time, 0 for 1 from the floor, and hasn't found her way back out since. First free throw by Bermudez is good. Bermudez really hasn't gotten going for this Vulcans team either. She had that nice floater earlier in the game, but other than that, that basket, only her 3rd point of the game, and misses the 2nd free throw there. This has really just been Alicia Harris showing all night that has really led them to where they are now, along with some contributions around the board, like from Talia Gilliard. And right there, can't let that happen.
No, not at all. It's just another defensive lapse inside, and had a switch, I guess, but no one really communicating that. But it's Coon, especially this leading scorer for Mercyhurst, you really have to do your best to really stay on her, make sure someone's always on her, and keep her out of position she wants.
Alicia Harris taking a hard fall there. She will earn herself a trip to the free throw line, though. But does get up a bit slower. Jordan Smith checking into the game for Kamaya Williams. Love to see this team get a bit of a lead and maybe senior Hayden Ross make her way back, or Hayden Robinson, my apologies, make her way back onto the floor for the Vulcans team. But as of right now, only holding a 6-point lead. Alicia Harris trying to make it 7-point lead, and she does. Free throw shooting's been great from Alicia Harris tonight. Van Shake with it now, gets the screen from Coons. Coons rolling, looking for it, nothing there. Gets it to Grimm. Grimm with it now, guarded by Alicia Young. Pass over in the corner. And they're going to call an offensive foul off the ball as Bailey Coons kind of laid an arm into a player there, and they'll call it to come the other way.
Now when that comes to that, that's always like a tricky thing because you're allowed to try to gain position, but like you're not necessarily supposed to use your body in that manner to really seal off a player. But everyone does it anyway, to be honest. If you're really looking for the ball, that's one thing. You have to make it look like you're actually looking for the ball. But I guess at that point, after they just get so far past you, you really just have to let them go. She kind of just tripped her up.
Nina Shaw able to drive the baseline, and she creates some contact. And now she'll go to the line for two. Try to put some points on the board for the Vulcans without the clock moving. Saw Nina come out of the halftime locker room first out of all players and start shooting some free throws, so you have to think that's a part of her game that she's definitely working on, as she's not able to connect on the first of two. She was 4 for 4 before that shot, and now 5 for 6 on the night from the free throw line. 8-point lead for the Vulcans. Nina Shaw now up 7 points. Van Shake with it.
Yeah, both teams shooting well above 70% from the foul line tonight, and teams that shoot 70% or better generally win more games.
And the three there by Buckman, no good. The lefty shooter not able to find her mark. California looking to make their lead double digits now if they can get a bucket here. Just over 7 minutes to play. Nina Shaw with it, the handoff to Young. Gets it over to Harris. Harris looking around. Goes to give it to Jordan Smith, but Smith kind of cutting in at the wrong time, and the turnover there by the Vulcans.
Yeah, miscommunications are going to happen. You're human, but you have to try to limit those. I didn't really know what the really keys to making sure players are on the same page, but I guess oftentimes you have to look at each other in the eyes, I guess, really at that point. But you have to limit those kinds of turnovers, the unforced ones especially.
Ross now with it. Gets it to Coons on the roll. Coons going to put it up, get the foul, and go to the line. But she is going to have a chance to make this a three-point play, and might have been the spark that Coons needed to get going. She's up to her scoring average of 15 quietly. And, I mean, like I said, she definitely quietly. She could have easily had a lot more opportunities, but Alicia Harris kind of contained her for the most part.
Guess kind of, I had the foul on the wrong person there. But I'd say at this point in the game, I'd say if you have one to burn, if she gets that far, or if anyone, for that matter, really gets that far underneath and has that easy even look, I'd say hack them. To be honest, at the point, you don't want to really give up an easy shot. Score is pretty close. Make sure, don't get in the habit of trying to hack them, but make sure they're working, having to work for a shot.
Pick and rolls are always tough to defend, but it might be worth it to kind of stay on your player in that sense. Is, every time they're able to switch Coons onto a smaller defender, she's able to take advantage, and it's not what they want to see. Is Jordan Smith for three off the back rim, no good. And they're going to call a foul on Allison Ross. For a second there, I got scared thinking they were blowing the whistle on Terrell, and that would have been her exit from the game.
Yeah. So Ross had the position there, but what they really go off of, at least in high school, from what they go off of displacement at that point. She was going up for the rebound. Ross hadn't technically really had the position, but really was going into her as she really went up for the rebound, kind of trying to throw her off. But kind of fouled her, and so that's going to send Terrell to the line.
First one from Terrell is good. Her point total only at 4 tonight, not what we're used to seeing from her, but nonetheless her team with a 7, potentially 8-point lead after this one. All around the toilet bowl that rolls is California now with an 8-point lead, and like I said, I mean, leading scorer with only 5 points, but the team still able to pull it together. Little contributions from here and there, just really making this a team effort. Van Schaik with it now. She's going to take it to the right side. Bermudez picks up the steal, but they're going to call foul. Wasn't much contact, but I'm sure the referee, being a little bit closer than we were, saw something we didn't.
Yeah. Games like this, you're always going to have those close calls. Someone's either going to want to call going this way or that way. I guess it's as a referee, as official, it's going to be it's impossible to be a people pleaser. Did kind of make some contact inside, but it was like way before she lost the ball. So I guess Bermudez really going to have to watch her hands, as she's, I guess, already picked up a couple in that manner.
Bermudez only 3 points on the night to go along with 3 fouls, so hasn't really been as effective either. I mean, it's potentially the number 2 scorer on this team, as she's been able to shoot the ball from beyond the arc, lights out all year. A great box out there by Julia Buckman, and Mercyhurst coming back the other way. A clear, obvious foul there on Nina Shaw. I think she kind of just wanted to stop the fast break, and she hadn't even picked up a foul yet in this game. So
yeah, so definitely a good one to burn. Yeah.
And with them only having, that would only be their 3rd foul of the quarter, so still not in a bonus or anything, but we've talked about it before. You don't want to get in the bonus early, but you want to be in the bonus towards the end of the game when it's getting close, because if for some reason you find yourself down, you don't want to have to throw a bunch of fouls to get them at the free throw line and have a chance to get the ball back. You want to just be able to do it. And
especially in that situation, it's kind of a live by the sword, die by the sword type situation too, because even if you can get to the line and team really can't hit them, I guess it's basically just free points going the other way.
Both free throws there by Van Schaik. Good 6-point lead. Really isn't too much. I mean, we've seen in PSAC play all year, both men's and women's, that 6-point lead can evaporate in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So
just like that, even up to like 10 points, even as well. The higher the skill, the higher the level of play, the more that lead means absolutely nothing.
I'm not sure if this is a timeout or a stoppage by the refs. So we didn't really get a signal over here. I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that this was a timeout by somebody.
I'm assuming it was a timeout. At least it looked like a timeout by Coach Strom here, but not necessarily sure.
Looking ahead for both of these teams, following this game, Mercyhurst, I believe, only has 2 games left on the season, as they play Clarion on Wednesday. They will travel there, and then they host their last game of the season against Slippery Rock on March 2nd, that's Saturday, at the Owen McCormick Court at the Mercy House Athletic. And then California with playing host to IUP this upcoming Wednesday, and what should be an interesting matchup. And finishing off the season on March 2nd as they travel to Edinburgh to take on the Fighting Scots. And it'll really be interesting to see where they end up in the PSAC playoffs and what seed they sit at, who they play, and the route that they have to take in order to become PSAC champs.
Yep.
Very curious as to why Iona Williams hasn't really been on the court for the Vulcans tonight. You have to think that it has to be an injury issue, if anything. I mean, this is a player that really has just been, efficient for this squad all year long, and to not have her in the lineup whatsoever, it's definitely thrown off things a bit. I mean, she's averaging 22.5 minutes per game. Tonight, only 1 minute. And we didn't get any pregame report of her having an injury or anything wrong, so we'll have to keep an eye on that in the next coming games. As we're back from the timeout, 5.5 minutes to play. California up 6 with the ball. Nina Shaw with it, guarded by Van Schaik. Pass over to Bermudez. Bermudez with it now, driving the right side, pulling up from the right edge, and she's going to connect on the 2-point jumper and increase their lead to 8. You got to imagine the crowd's really going to get into these next 5 minutes. It's an important 5 minutes, and Grimm gets called for the travel, but it was one of the few times that I really didn't see it, that it was called, but that pivot foot must have just moved a tiny bit, and the ref caught it just in time. Nina Shaw with it. Guarded by Woodford. She gets it over to Bermudez. Down low to Deja Terrell. Terrell squaring up, getting under the basket just a bit too far. And Grimm with another rebound for the Lakers. Grimm passes it over to Woodford. Woodford over to Coons. Coons guarded by the much smaller Nina Shaw. And that's going to be a push-off as she extended the arm, and as the bigger player, that is something you don't want to do because it's very obvious when it happens.
Yep.
She's smiling, but I mean, I think all of us here saw that was clearly an offensive foul. That'll take us to our media timeout here in the fourth quarter. That was Bailey Coons' fourth foul, so something to keep an eye on there, as her and Deja both battling foul trouble a little bit.
Yeah. So especially at this point for the Vulcans, 4 fouls for Coons, and you have to smell essentially blood in the water. At this point, I just keep attacking her on the offensive and defensive end, because there's been a few times she just dipped her shoulder, used an arm right into the defense, but no one really thinking to go down. As I said, make her play defense straight up. Make her play offense a little bit more conservative. And she's pretty much, like, when she's gotten so far deep, if she's gotten it, she's pretty much had her way. So at this point, I'd just be attacking her at every end.
Also, Allison Ross with 4 fouls for the Lakers. So 2 of their 5 starters sitting with 4 fouls. And, you know, you want to be able to play aggressive in the last 4 minutes of this game, but you don't want to find your way out because of a call by the refs. So it's going to be interesting to see how that takes place. Deja Terrell coming back out on the court, so she's just going to be trusted by Coach Strom to not pick up that 5th. As Bailey Coons going to stay on the bench along with Allison Ross. And that could be key for the Vulcans. If they can get this lead up to 12 or 14 points, it could close it out, especially with the leading scorer for the Lakers on the bench. Shaw with it now. She gets it to Harris. Harris working the high post. Squares up. She gets double teamed underneath. She's looking around. She's going to force it up, and she'll draw the foul and go to the line. It's got to be frustrating if you're the Lakers, is you sent the double team to contain her, and she still somehow found a way to draw a foul and make her way to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Harris' first free throw is good. Up to 19 points now on the night. Lead now up to 9 for the Vulcans. The second free throw is good. That gets her to 20. 2 off of her season high. She was able to post 22 points against Mansfield in their last game of the 2023 year. You have to see if she can get to that point. Grimm with it now. Pass to McConnell. McConnell on the drive. She puts up with the left hand and finishes. And honestly, a good job by Terrell there to not play too aggressive, picking up another foul.
Yep. So especially in situations like that, Terrell foul trouble, that help defense is that much more important, especially coming over across on the back end. Just no one really in the vicinity able to really help her out in that situation.
Shaw with the pass to Harris on the left wing. Gets it back over to Shaw. Shaw to Bermudez now. She screens for Bermudez, but doesn't really get much out of it. The pass over to Terrell. She's going to square up the fadeaway jumper. Kind of forced that a little bit, and Mercyhurst coming back the other way. The layup there by Van Schaik, no good, and the rebound by Nina Shaw. That's going to be a timeout by Coach Jess Strom, as she wants to just make sure everybody's on the same page, and they want to keep a hold of this 8-point lead. Just over 3 minutes to play. While we have a little break in action, I'd like to give a shout out to Penny and Abby. The 2 dogs giving me all the support that I need. Got a little snapshot of them during halftime. And, I always appreciate any kind of support for this Vulcans team or for anybody working or being a part of the production. and we always do appreciate it. So shout out you guys, my Uncle Matt. Just under 3.5 minutes to play here. California 58-50. Mercyhurst with 5 fouls and California with 3. So any foul on a Vulcan will lead them to the free throw line. And I feel like that's kind of adding on to the point I made earlier. If you're Mercyhurst, you're down 8. If for some reason you do have to start fouling, at least you're in the bonus to the point of where you know the clock will stop and you'll get the ball back after the free throws.
Yep. It's especially a good tactic, especially to just send it to the line. If you know for sure that they're not really going to hit it, better oftentimes to make the team come up, your opponents especially come up with maybe 1 or 2 points instead of just getting 2.
Something else I would like to point out is Danielle Grimm, 11 points, 10 rebounds. So she gets a double-double tonight. And I know earlier I was mentioning how often she was getting rebounds. And as a guard, she averages 7.5 a game. So not something that she's unfamiliar with in any sense. As Nina Shaw with it now, guarded by Woodford. Gets it over to Alicia Harris, back to Shaw. Shaw looking for Deja Terrell at the high post. Can't find her. Gets it over to Jordan Smith. 4-3, way long. That ball will find its way out of bounds. And Jordan Smith's just not able to really find it from outside the arc. That's not really her game. I think in a sense, for senior day, she kind of just wants to get as many shots as she can. She's 2 for 8 from the floor, 2 for 9 from the floor, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. But her presence really is made on the defensive end as she's been kind of shutting down Grimm from scoring for the majority of the night. Pass over to Woodford. She'll put up a 3, and she'll connect. And that cuts this lead down to 5 for the Vulcans. Nina Shaw with it now, guarded by Woodford, who just connected on that clutch 3, her first basket of the night. Alicia Harris gets down low, and the double team from Woodford, and honestly, that's a strategy that's been working the second half. I think they pointed out Alicia Harris at that halftime break and said, hey, if she gets the ball on the post, we got to send 2. And they've been doing that, and once again, it causes another turnover. It's the second time in as many times as that has happened. Buckman with it now. A little bit of a defense cheer here that we don't get too often in the Convocation Center. Coons with it now. Gets it back to Woodford. Woodford, the cross-court pass to Van Schaik. Van Schaik for 3, no good. And the rebound by Deja Terrell. She almost loses it, but able to save it and get it to Nina Shaw. Under 2 minutes to play, a 5-point lead for the Vulcans. They're going to slow it down a bit, try to take as much time as they can off this clock. Jordan Smith with the pass to Harris, back to Smith. They're giving her room now that they can see that she struggled to find it from beyond the arc. And Smith loses it on the dribble. The foul there on Bermudez, and it's going to come back the other way in favor of the Lakers. Gilliard checking into the game for Bermudez, as that was Bermudez's 4th foul. With only a minute and a half to play. I guess that's not really too concerning, but Jess Strom just doesn't want to see her pick up another, and Gilliard been just as much of a 3-point weapon as her, so. Grimm with it now at the top. The great defense there by Smith. They get it down low to Coons. Coons trying to do something with it. Gets it out to Van Schaik. Van Schaik drives the baseline over to Woodford. Out to Buck for the 3. No good. Rebound by Terrell, and she gets it to Nina Shaw.
Yeah, probably one of the better defensive rotations, especially that I've seen here, especially in this 4th quarter. Vulcans kind of lapsed in a few possessions, but that all started had to be by Harris, because really we've seen that breakdown. Once it gets inside, it's almost all over. Harris able to stand her ground, kicked it out to the corner. Smith able to close out quick, get them to put it on the floor, and everyone able to really get to their defensive assignments.
Buckman only 1 for 8 from the floor tonight, 1 for 6 from beyond the arc. And she's been a good shooter for this team all year, shooting 32% from beyond the arc. Leading, well, actually second on the team in 3-point makes with 30. So, being able to contain those second, third, fourth options on opposing teams is always crucial, if not just as crucial as containing their number one option, as we've seen here tonight. I mean, them not being able to contain Alicia Harris has her at 20 points and has really given California the lead they need. Finally, under a minute left to go in this game, just 15 on the shot clock for the Vulcans. Nina Shaw with it. They're trying to get it down low to Terrell, and they do. The double team comes. The pass out to Shaw. She's going to drive and find it off the backboard. And that increases their lead to 7, and the timeout there by Coach Colkeem. 43 seconds left. Score being 60-53 in favor of the Vulcans.
You always have to watch, especially playing that aggressive and that far out, especially on quicker players. Kind of just takes, if they beat you, basically you're out of the play at that point, and then everyone else has to scramble. Shaw able to capitalize off of that and hit that layup, and then especially a much-needed spot for this Vulcans offense.
And that play right there specifically highlights the growth of Nina Shaw. So Nina Shaw earlier in this season, you know, if they were to feed it in the post and her defender went down to double team, a pass out, Nina Shaw's throwing up a 3 every time. Yep. Nina Shaw knows that that's not the highlight of her game. She drives the lane, tries to create some contact, doesn't get the call, but she does finish at the rim. And I mean, that's all you need to do. That shows the maturity that has come with all the playing time she's had this year. And a very crucial bucket there by the freshman. 43 seconds left. The 5 on the floor coming out for the Vulcans. Deja Terrell, Jordan Smith, Alicia Harris, Talia Gilliard, and Nina Shaw. Alicia Harris kind of stealing the show from the seniors here tonight, as she's putting on quite the show for any Vulcans fans, and up to 20 points on the night, like we've said, and an important 20 points at that. Van Schaik with it now. She gets the quick drive. She will get fouled, but not able to connect on the lay-in. But we've talked about this before, too. When you're down and you're able to create opportunities at the free throw line where the clock's not moving, I mean, it's just as good as anything.
I guess the best situation here for the Vulcans would be having them run down the clock, and I'd say not necessarily a bad foul in this spot, because especially you get it out of their hands quicker and you're going to get the ball back regardless of whether she hits these foul shots or not. You get the ball.
First free throw by Van Schaik is no good.
As I guess rebounding here especially is so important.
She connects on the second, making it a 6-point game, 2 possessions. They're going to get it to Nina Shaw, and the quick foul there by Grimm. Grimm's got fouls to use, as she only had 1 before that. I'm sorry, that was Van Schaik. Van Schaik only had 1 before that. Now that'll be her second. Nina Shaw at the line, like we talked about. Mercyhurst already over the foul limit, so California in the bonus for the remainder of this game. Actually, both teams in the bonus for the remainder of this game. Nina Shaw able to extend the lead to 7, and will have a chance to extend it to 8.
Say make or miss. Vulcans, in my opinion, should put up some light pressure here, basically just so they don't have to take their time going up the floor.
Another timeout here by Mercyhurst, as they just want to make sure, like we've said before, everybody's on the same page. Maybe draw up some kind of play that'll get them points fast, so they don't have to worry about, you know, the clock running down too far on them. Bailey Coons, the leading scorer for Mercyhurst to this point with 15. She does still have those 4 fouls, so something to keep an eye on in case they have to foul. You got to hope the ball's not around her. And the pass in there, and they're going to call a quick foul on Jordan Smith. Grimm will actually make her way to the line, and to be honest with you, that's the last thing you wanted if you're the California Vulcans.
Yeah, especially a foul with no time run off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, there was literally maybe, I think it was 38.7. Now it's 38.2. So, you know, half a second, and all of a sudden they're finding their way at the free throw line. And Grimm able to connect on the first. She connects on the second as well. Now the pass into Terrell. Terrell gets it to Shaw. Shaw going to run up the floor. They're trying to foul her, and they do. See the smiles coming through the Vulcans' faces. They know they're a couple free throws away from sealing the win here if they're able to just continue to take care of the ball and capitalize on their free throw opportunities. They have a 6-point lead currently. Nina Shaw, one of the best free throw shooters on the team, connects on the first one. You got to think Mercyhurst is probably going to call another timeout after this free throw attempt. And they actually won't, as they're just going to go ahead and run it. Down 8, 30 seconds left. Grimm with it. Jordan Smith covering her the length of the floor. Van Shake going up. The lay-in with the right hand, no good. She does get her own rebound, puts it up, no good again. Alicia Harris gets it. They get it to Nina Shaw. You got to wonder if they're going to let them run it out or if they're going to foul. She's double-teamed in the corner, not the best place to be, but Jess Strom does call a timeout with just under 10 to go and an 8-point lead. I think it's safe to say that this game is all but over now.
Yep.
Because they kind of got enough time off the clock there to feel comfortable about having an 8-point lead, and at this point it's just a question of whether or not Mercyhurst will foul. If you're tied to your couch today on this snowy day in Pennsylvania, be sure to tune in to the men's game. Tip-off being set for 3 o'clock, but with this game running a little late because of our senior day festivities, I'm sure we'll tip off about 20 minutes after this game ends. So if you want to keep it right here to, you know, have fun enjoying the entertainment of the men's team playing a great defensive team in the Mercyhurst men. So stay tuned for that. Pass into Terrell. She's going to go cross court to Gilliard, and they will foul as Gilliard will make her way to the line with 6 seconds to play. Talia, another junior on the squad, so I'm sure she'll be a little bit more impactful next season. When they lose Jordan Smith, I mean, she's going to kind of fill her way into that rotation as well. And with a jump shot like that, she's going to be a very crucial part. 83% free throw shooter coming in, but she's only 5 for 6 on the season. Make that now 6 for 8 after that miss and make. So not a very big sample size, but able to connect on one, make it a 9-point game, 5 seconds left. Not sure what you can possibly draw up in that timeout right now. But, I mean, I guess if you have it, you might as well use it.
Yeah, 4 seconds down 9, you'd have to have everything just go in your favor. No missed free throws and stuff from the other side. Almost no time run off the clock. I said it's incredibly difficult in order to really get anything going in this situation.
I mean, man, it even took Reggie Miller, 8 seconds to score 9 points in that, 11 seconds and 9 points, whatever he had all those years ago. And, I mean, that's about as quick as you can be. As clock winding down, they're not even going to get a shot off. It's California able to seal the victory here on Senior Day, 65-56. And, I mean, like I said, stay tuned for the men's games next, as we're going to have a little bit of festivities, let the guys warm up a little bit, and we'll be right back. Thank you for listening to CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network. This has been Andrew White and Braxton Turner.